Hello, everyone, and welcome to Visions of War. Today, we're going to be talking about war defense again. This one is specifically for the new season that is Temporal Turmoil. This one focuses on new warriors on defense, and we'll get to where they rank, as well as Hero Cosmic. And there's a lot of plug and play characters you can use for Hero Cosmic to help out your defenses, and as well having Apoc Sus help on defense too. So a lot of these are going to have plug and play, being able to use those two characters or other Hero Cosmic in order to make those teams better. But today we're going to be talking about the base teams, and then I'll add with some of these how you can improve. Of course, anybody's going to improve with Sus or Apoc for the most part, unless they're 5 or deterrent on, or they're 5 are going to be what they need in order to make them succeed. But other than that, I think just about every team you're going to see is going to be able to have plug and play. So let's go get right into it. Of course, I start at the top team and work my way down to the bottom. No sense in waiting till the end to kind of wait for this. So get your 10 if you want, put them on D, and go from there. I am going to have 3 extra teams. One is going to be that you're probably going to want to use on offense instead of on defense, but you can put on defense as something if you don't have anything else, or if you have all these teams that you want to use on offense, go for it. Put them on D. It's your account. Do what you want to do with it. It's fine. These are just ideas. And then the other one, we have one that's kind of like a leftover type thing, kind of similar to what secondary 6 was for offense. And the other one is one that's just because of the boosts they're there. Otherwise, using them as a sack team or something that makes them still relevant is going to work. So the first team we're going to get into, the what I think is the top team, because they're almost all Hero Cosmic, and you can add somebody with them to make them even that much better, is Hero Asgardians. So this team with Beta Ray Bill, Val are both needed for raids now with Bifrost. So building them up is a great idea. Add Valkyrie and Mighty Thor to them to give some traumas, to give some stayability, ability blocks, blinds, things like that. And then adding Dorm just makes it so they're able to revive too. A team like Nowhere, of course, can take this out, but if you're taking meta teams like Nowhere, Undying to take a team like this out, then it's worth putting on defense. So, being as they really have those 2 counters that are efficient, I think this is probably the number 1 team to put on D. Plus, they're all Hero Cosmic, so you're talking about them all getting mega boosts right now on defense through the Temporal Turmoil benefits that they get for each team. The second team we're going to have going on defense is also one that has a little bit of a boost because of the season benefits, and that team is going to be New Avengers. Yes, Thing is Hero Cosmic. Thing does a lot of damage. That is the reason why I put Thing not right next to Tigra. So that way he doesn't die right away. He's going to sit there and pummel people from the side, clobbering time over and over again as a striker. Coulson gets the brunt of being next to Tigra, so therefore Coulson's going to be the one to die. But guess what? Later on, when they bring back that Shield Medic, guess who Shield Medic revives 100% of the time on her special? That's right, Coulson. So he's coming back anyways. So it's fine. Just go ahead and put Thing 1 over, put Coulson next to Tigra. You're going to get some fun little benefits out of that. It's a really good defensive team. Plus, I used Mockingbird and Tigra both in DD6 in Global. Was very pleased with them. Ronan is a city character. Kind of looked over now. We don't really need that. Thing is Cosmic. If you really want to use him for Cosmic, you can. Really, anybody in that 5th spot is going to be okay. Now we have Void Knight, Val, Kestrel, and Kang. So really, anybody in that 5th spot for your first time round is going to be fine. Photon's usually who they put, but Deathpool is another one. But Thing might be that person if you really want to bring this team up. Coulson's kind of the odd man out. So if you're going to replace somebody with Apoc, Coulson's going to be your guy. But anyways, so this is the team I have at number 2, just because it has a limited number of counters. It can be punched up on. But Thing, if you move him away from Tiger a little bit, packs a little more punch. So the number 3 team. Now, this is the one that this whole season of War is based around. I don't know why they decided to do it, but they did. and that's a new warriors. They gave them speed, 50% extra speed. They gave them safeguard on spawn. What I decided to do is take Firestorm out and put Chavez in. And so what America Chavez does, who is also Hero Cosmic, she speeds up the two beside her. So it's going to speed up Cloak. It's going to speed up Gwynpool. What this does for the team is it makes it so that if you use Death Seed as the counter, which is the primary counter for this team, Gwynpool is going to go before Archangel gets his ult, and she is going to taunt. So this makes it so that he has to ult into her, and he has to taunt into her, ult into her taunt. Doesn't clear the taunt because of the safeguard, and you're kind of stuck over there in that corner while Dagger, Deathpool, and Cloak are doing their work, and then it kind of creates a gap once they finally do get past the taunt. Or once her taunt is there, and if you can get past America Chavez, which shouldn't be that hard. A lot of people don't have her built up, but I'd rather take that early one ping, than take them just dismantling the team with their bleeds and the speed up and all that stuff. So this is what I did. Do it or don't, doesn't matter. I wanted to get the most out of my Hero Cosmic. This is where I put Chavez. I think it works really well in practices. It works really well. And the wars that we just had with it on defense, it did pretty well. So it's definitely a team to look at. They're getting the special buffs, even if you don't have them built very high, which you probably should because of Cosmic Crucible, even though that's a horrible mode. But that's just my opinion. But they're still a good team and one to use on defense and just to make them look pretty, because it's kind of hard to punch up on them on a lot of different teams now. There's only a couple counters because of the buffs and the way they go. They get that safeguard, so some people are using Apoc against them, but that's kind of a waste of Apoc. So this is just a way to make Death Seed a little bit harder, make them really a little bit more of a challenge for them. So now we're going to go into number 4. Number 4 team is oldie but a goodie. It's one that's still here. It's been working for a couple seasons now. It's pretty nasty. And that's Infestation. There's quite a few counters for it now, but it still does the deed. It does what it needs to do. I've seen people using big time on teams on offense now, or just putting him in different things in defense to make it so that he actually gets to go and gets to do stuff. But this classic team just kind of uses what you need for these gamma raids and puts it into a mode where they can actually do something. And there's really only a few counters for it, but we're getting more and more as we go. So pretty soon they're going to be out of the running. But right now, like I said, they've moved down to 4 out of 10, which, that's not the top anymore. It's reaching the middle, whereas they used to be right off the bat right at the top because they were hard to get and only Nowhere was doing it. But anyways, they're a good team. They're solid. A lot of people have them built up already, especially like Black Widow, maybe Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man for things like the Pimtech team back when it was good, and possibly Swarm for when Doc 6 was only the 6 of them. So, it's a good team. It's working. It has a few counters, but still does what it needs to do. And if you don't use those counters, you get punished for it. So, yeah, number 4, Infestation. All right, so moving on to number 5. Number 5 is one that is a lot of plug and play, a lot of different things to do. Very good team. It's good on offense, though, too, which is the reason why it's number 5 and not higher up. It would probably be at least number 3 if it was just a defensive team. But that's Secret Defenders. I know there's an argument for using New Avengers for offense as well, but New Avengers, really good defensive team. Secret Defenders, you can plug and play those Doctor Strange and that Silver Surfer spot. I don't have Photon here, even though she is Hero Cosmic and she does get the benefits. Her on A-Force just makes A-Force an amazing team to use on offense. So that's where I have her. Put Silver Surfer there, Hero Cosmic. Doctor Strange is there, Hero Cosmic. So that's really the reason why those two. Otherwise, yeah, you could put people like Sus, Apoc. You could put a lot of different things here. You could put that America Chavez if you want to speed up Robbie and Black Cat, and then put somebody else beside Hardlight. You could put Black Knight if you have him there, Void Knight if you want there. There's a lot of characters you could do to make it so this is a better team. But in this format, it's just using tunes that I have built already, put on a team that is dang good and will bring one of those meta teams in order to beat it if it wants to get beat. Otherwise, if you don't bring the right counter, they're going to punish you. The reason why I have 5 again is because you can use it on offense with different things, and it's a very good team. Even though I don't want to say that, it's the truth. I don't use secret defenders a lot, so a lot of people do, and a lot of people swear by them, and I can see why. They're a good team. I like building the stuff that nobody else wants to build, so that's kind of where my thing is. And again, reason why it's number 5 is because of the fact that you can use it on offense as well. Otherwise, it would be a little higher up if it was just a defense only team. But very, very good, very usable. Moving on to number 6. So number 6 is one of those, again, you can use on offense if you want. We've found different counters for it, but put it on defense is just kind of like the new sexy thing to do because it's a newer team. And that's Hive Mind. So Hive Mind has an ability where it like throws a taunt randomly at somebody, and you're not really sure who it's going to be until it happens. So it's kind of confusing. You want to go after Red Goblin right off the bat, but you don't know if that taunt's going to go up on Venom or Void Knight or maybe even Carnage. So it's really just kind of using speed against them, and that's why people put Sus with them. You put Sus with this team, they get the early speed. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. But if you don't and you just use Hive Mind, if you go into it with a Gamma, if it's a large Hive Mind, which people are building it for the raids, I mean, it's a good team and they're fun to play with because they're symbiotes. And Void Knight is great in Arena. So if you go against it with Gamma, you get whopped if you're trying to fight up into these guys because they could really put a wall up on teams, especially once they get going. But it's just the get going. So if you can slow them down with things like blinds and stuff like that, like Underworld, then it's really tough for them to go. If you can take out Red Goblin or Void Knight before they really get going, then it's hard for them to go. A team like Secret Defenders can take them out pretty easily because of the stuns and the blinds and the bleeds and stuff like that. So, but if you add Sus to them, if you add Apoc to them, man, they can do some things, and it's a tough team to beat. So, but they're the new kid on the block. They're the fun toy to play with. So having them at 6, if you got them built up and you don't really know how to use them yet, and you don't want to lose in war, put them on defense. Let somebody else deal with your problem, right? So good for you for building them up too. They're a lot of fun to play with. All right, so on to number 7. We're almost halfway through this thing. Actually, past halfway through. Number 7 is another one. Good raid team. Thank you, Scopely, for making raid teams' ability to be on war offense or defense that we can use. Appreciate it. And this team is going to be Extreme X-Men. Now, adding Rogue gives a little bit more to it just because you have that taunt rather than Sunspot. But just straight up Sunspot with Extreme is really good as well. I just have it this way because I have another team later on you're going to see with Sunspot. You pretty much want to stick Forge on the other side away from Rogue, so that way you're not getting Forge taken out too early. It does have a couple of counters already, like Doc 6 is one that definitely takes it out. So, I mean, it does have counters, but if you don't get these guys down and you have them, and you on defense, you have them built up, like if you have Nightcrawler built up, Cyclops built up, and Forge built up, and you have them on D and they leave those 3, oh my gosh, those 3 can take a team like Death Seed, they can take a team like Underworld. I mean, they can take them out. Like, just those 3 characters if they're not careful. So, building them up, having them on defense, they're a sturdy team on D, and really will do the job for you if you need them to. There's only a few counters for them, but this is another one if you use them on offense. Cyclops has the ability on his ult to remove revives. So if you're going against teams with Dorm, remove the revives with Cyclops, right? So they're a usable team for offense. So that's why it's kind of like one of those 7, because they're a raid team that people haven't built up all the way. Like, you don't have the stars on Sunspot, you don't have the stars on Forge, don't have the stars on Nightcrawler, kind of like Hive Mind. But they're the new kid on the block. They're the cool new team that you want to put there. They do some things on offense, so you could use them on offense, but they're good on defense. So they're a solid team to put in number 6, 7. I decided to go 7 just because symbiotes are so fun, and to make them a problem. And you put symbiotes with Sus, just like if you put these guys with Apoc, oh my gosh, they could do some damage too. So just something to think about. Those 2 definitely make them better. This team, you'd want a couple with Apoc, whereas Hive Mind, you want a couple with Sus. But great team, fun to use, great to have on defense, gets you some wins sometimes. All right, so on to number 8. So number 8 is another one. Another thank you, Scopely. Another raid team. I know people use this on offense all the time, but it's Pegasus. Pegasus on defense. Only a couple counters. I mean, really using Eternals is the real solid way to go about it. Otherwise, you're using a big meta team to take these guys out. And if you go after Rescue, you got the taunt being thrown up on Iron Man. If you put Iron Man by Kestrel, then you have your toughest character who's Hero Cosmic and gets all those buffs, just taking damage. If you finally kill Iron Man and get him out of there, Rescue speeds back up, brings him back to life. It's like, it's kind of a nightmare. So really reducing the turn meter, taking them all out at once is the way to go. Eternals is really the best counter for it. Good solid team on defense. On offense, yeah, you can use them to counter Young Avengers, but really who can't these days? Yeah, you can use them to counter a couple other teams, but they have other counters. So it's kind of the same thing like Hive Mind. Why not just throw them on defense and let it be somebody else's problem? If you don't want to, I get it. I've seen people use this with Apoc to take out New Avengers. Solid counter. But again, you're using it with Apoc to take out New Avengers, which is a meta defense. So you be the choice of what you want to do with your alliance and how that betters you. But they're a good, solid defensive team. So, yeah, I put them on defense. Put them at number 8 because they're a good offensive team as well to use for a couple things. So, but especially if you see Doom on the other side, getting rid of his Doom bots is always nice to do. But a great team to have on D. Make it somebody else's problem, especially if you got them built up. And they look all nice and shiny in their middle. Let somebody else deal with your problem, yeah? So, going into number 9. Number 9 is one of those that there's new characters coming out for them. They're only going to get better. Their season has gone away, but this is the return, and it makes sense because they revive, and that's Rebirth. So, I know Rebirth in its standard form is pretty trash. So, add Black Knight. Okay, it's a little better. Who are we taking out for that? Probably U.S. Agent, right? That's the first one to take out. So you add Black Knight, you got a decent team, right? You got a team with some retaliations, you got revives, you got blocks, you got a bunch of buffs going around, stuff like that. Now add Starbrand. Really doesn't add a lot to the team, but it does rewind turn meter, it does do things like, it hits away from taunt, stuff like that. Add Apoc to it. Now you got a real sturdy team. Somebody's going to have to use Apoc or Sus in order to take it out. Add Cosmic Ghost Rider here in a little bit. Who knows what they're going to be like. But for right now, they're a sturdy team, a good baseline team, something you're not going to use on offense. They really don't have a lot of counters for offense. You've already built them, right? You've built them for raids. So why not throw them on there? Let them do their thing. Let them be an important team. And as you unlock the other pieces to them, add it to it. Make it even better. Make it even more of a problem. And get some use out of them while you got them. Because that's what war defense is for, getting the best use out of the teams that you don't use other ways or that don't have a reason to be used on offense. So this is a prime example. They're not as good as they were last season, but they're still a dang good team. So why not put them there? Why not let them do their thing? Let them counter them if they want to. Throw some Undying into them or something like that. Get rid of all those Undying teams right off the bat with Rebirth. Shove them towards the front of your war defense. So it looks like, you got this huge, 1.7 million team that you got on your team because you've built them up for raids, and let them go after that. As the rest of the stuff might be a little smaller. Maybe they'll ignore you. Maybe they'll go after you. Who knows? But as you start to get the other pieces, though, Black Knight, Cosmic, Ghost Rider, and Starbrand, you can add 2, or you can add Apoc, or you can add Sus, or you can do both if you want. Have some fun with it, They're a good team to kind of add things to. Cap Sam, I've seen added as well. It's a good addition to them. So there's some things you could do with it, but for a good base, Rebirth does its thing. That's why they're at 9s, because they're like a base team. You want to add to it, but they're decent because we built them, right? So here we go into number 10. Number 10 team has been around forever. It's just here because it's here. Yes, it has a bunch of counters. It can really be countered easily with some things, but I mean, you already have them built up for the Scourges and stuff like that. and that's Young Avengers. I see people using Echo for a counter against Infestation. But if you notice here, I've put Firestar. So Firestar, what she does, she gets the safeguard because of the fact that new warriors in this Temporal Turmoil get special abilities. So she gets speed and safeguard. She's doing a ton of damage right off the bat. The normal counters for this team are going to take a bunch of damage from Firestar. It's going to be kind of surprising. It might throw them off the game a little bit, might get you a win, might even get you just like a combat cancel, come back and do it differently so they can beat you. And that's a win as well. But yeah, keeping the Young Avengers around, man. I mean, they've been around the block for a while, so why not give them another nod, add some freshness to them, let them do their thing. Hope to God that Kate Bishop just blinds everybody and that Echo just pings them away. Squirrel Girl gets all of her heals and you get some combat cancels. It's a number 10 team because it's a number 10 team, right? It's just one of those that, I mean, we haven't built. Put them on D, get some use out of them. Put that other character there, you know, to kind of give them a little bit more use and see what they can do. They might surprise you. All right, so going into number 10, or number 11, actually. This is past the top 10. This is where we started getting into teams that you could put in a place that if you haven't built and you're not using them on offense, or it's leftovers from leftovers that you want to put on that you haven't used. This is kind of where those fall in. Invaders is one that I've just taken out. This is way too counterable, too many things. So they're like 14. They're not even going to be in this one. So number 11 for right now is going to be Infinity Watch. Infinity Watch is one of those teams, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. Guess what? Most of them are Hero Cosmic, except for Nebula. So they're going to get buffed. They're going to be stronger. Do they have counters? Yes. War Dogs counters them easily. Darkhold gets them as well. But you're throwing War Dogs or Darkhold at a team that you don't use anyways, getting them out of the way for their offense. Can you manipulate this team? Kind of. People have taken out Moondragon and put other stuff in there to make them better, but I think just how they are, like, you got to beat them with just a couple counters. You could, Weapon X, War Dogs, Darkhold. They're probably your three best bets against them, and those are three war meta offenses. So, I mean, it does their thing. They do what they're supposed to. They garner attention and they get some respect. You can counter them also with a mirror match. But again, that's why they're 11. They're not in the top 10. This is only if you haven't built like massive, or if they're somewhat small and you don't use them on offense. One of those two options. Anywhere in the middle, I mean, you could probably use them on offense. So, but anywhere other than those two things, then put them on defense. If they're real big, put them on defense. If they're small but the buffs make it so they're okay, and you want that other million power team, put them on defense. That's what it's for. That's why they're number 11, because you can also use them as a pretty good sack team in a lot of situations, as well as just using them for what they're for. So yeah, Infinity Watch number 11. So number 12, this is our last honorable mention, and then we go the best team that you could use that's not on offense, if you're not using it for offense, I should say. This team is the leftovers of the X-Men. So Bishop, Hero Cosmic, Magic, Hero Cosmic. Okay, so they get buffs. So use them with Phoenix. I know Kestrel, I get it. I understand that. But if you already have Axemen built up, you have Bishop and you have Beast built up. If you have your raid teams built up, you have Sunspot built up. They have really good synergy together, the three of them. As you can see, Bishop's got a 9 on the synergy chart there. Most of the rest 7. The reason why Sunspot's 5 is because he deals a lot with Extreme, but he does do stuff with charges and things like that. So there is some synergy that goes into this team. If they don't use Kestrel, you can get Phoenix back twice, which is pretty cool. Beast, every time they're dropped down, he's going to heal, or he's going to speed up, and he's going to give them buffs. So that part's pretty cool. And again, like I said, Bishop and Magic, both Hero Cosmic, are going to get some nice boosts to their stats on defense. So if you already have them pretty girthy, then they're going to be a pretty good team to use. Yeah, I mean, I don't use them on offense. I don't have another place on defense. My Infinity Watch for my main is built up pretty good. And I like using Hive Mind now a little bit on offense. So I'm probably probably going to put these guys on defense here pretty soon. Actually, no, it's Secret Defenders that I've moved to offense for mine. So I'm putting these guys on defense in a room because I'm using Infinity Watch. So, but yeah, so this is a good team possibly to put together. If you haven't built up, you can sub Colossus in for somebody. You can sub Storm in for Magic if you'd rather, for some Suns and stuff. You could put Storm instead of Sunspot if you want to put that full extreme team together. There's a lot of different options, but yeah, it's a good team. It's a good team to use. So that's why they're number 12. That's why they're the second man out, is because of that. So yeah. All right, so moving on to the last team here. So this last team is going to be the one that this team would probably be number 2. It'd probably be up there with Secret Defenders. If they were a defense team, it'd be there with new Avengers. You know, if they weren't so good on defense. This team is great on offense. That's why they're not up there on defense. I have to use them on offense. I don't see a lot of other places to sub out somebody else for this team, and that's going to be nowhere. As you can see, I got the costume for Nova. I think it's dope, and I want to see it. I want to play with it. So I want to play with that cool costume. I earned that thing. I got that thing. I purchased that thing. I want to use it. So this is from my main, so that's why I have it there. I don't spend on any of my other accounts, but I do on my main. I get the first packs. So when I saw there's these little costume things and I can get one for 25 and the other 2 for the normal 50, I'm cool with that. That's fine. It also gets me those characters, so I'm all right with it. But yeah, so nowhere, dude. Nova, this team just counters so much on offense that I can't live without it some days. But if you're not one of those people that are big into attacks, or say you're going on vacation or something, you just want to put up a hunky defense, add them on defense. They get all those hero cosmic buffs right now, so they're like super big. So they're great. Like they get so much more to them now. So yeah, put them on defense if you're going to be going somewhere. If you don't like attacking, throw Apoc and Sus on the other teams that I was talking about, Extreme and Hive Mind. Put Secret Defenders up there with Photon. Go Total Turtle if you want to on defense. If you're not really into attacking, or like I said, if you're going somewhere and you're not going to be able to do a lot of attacking, right now is the time because we don't have war events as of 2/29 leap day of 2024. So who knows when that's going to change. But yeah, there's not any right this second. So if you're going to go do something, man, put them on D, have some fun, watch them get some wins. They're a crazy team. So anyhow, those are my teams for War Defense for the season of Temporal Turmoil. This is Viz telling you thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And until then, we'll see you later. Thanks. Peace.